Hello everyone, welcome to this lesson. In this video, we will introduce how to create automated workflows. We will learn to understand the basic concepts and components of workflows and their role in real business scenarios. We will master how to create and configure workflows, getting familiar with both trigger by worksheet and trigger by date field. We will also learn how to retrieve data using get single data nodes in workflows and how to reference dynamic values in nodes like fill in, CC, and send email. Before we start with the hands-on operations, let's take a look at our scenario case. Mega Technology Company has completed the core setup of its employee management application on HAP, including data entry, visualization, analysis, and access control. To further improve management efficiency, the HR department now wishes to automate several key processes. When a new employee is about to join, the application should automatically send a welcome email and notify the relevant department manager to prepare for the onboarding. When a training course is assigned or the training date is updated, employees should be notified automatically. After each course, the application should remind participants to submit course feedback to help HR gather timely insights. We also have an email template for new employee onboarding, where the employee's name and entry date need to be dynamically pulled from their employee directory, while other content remains fixed. Having understood these requirements, next, we will proceed step by step to demonstrate how to meet these needs in the application. On the upper right corner of the page, find the Open the Practice app button. Click this button and we will jump to the Employee Directory application. First, let's see how to enter the Workflow Configuration interface. In the top right corner of the application, we can see the Workflow button. Clicking it will take us to the Workflow List page. Once on the List page, if we want to create a brand new automated workflow, we simply click the Create Workflow button. Here, we can choose the most suitable workflow trigger based on our actual business scenario requirements. Next, let's create an automated workflow, New Employee Onboarding Notification. The goal of this workflow is, when new employee information is entered and the entry date is confirmed, the application should automatically send a welcome email to the employee and remind the relevant department manager to prepare for onboarding. Since the process is triggered after the entry date is confirmed in the employee directory, we should choose Trigger by Worksheet. Then, we need to set the trigger method. We'll select the employee directory as the worksheet. For trigger method, choose when creating and updating records. Select entry date and employment status as trigger fields. Then we need to set up the filter to allow the records under specific conditions to trigger the flow. For the trigger condition, we'll set the condition as employment status equals onboarding and entry date is not empty. This ensures that the workflow only starts when a new employee's status changes to onboarding and their entry date is confirmed. After setting these, remember to click Save. Following this, we need to add an Send Email node. On the top right corner, you'll see two buttons. One is the List view, and the other is the Grid view. If you switch to the List view, each node will show detailed descriptions so you can better understand what it does. If you switch to the Grid view, the nodes are displayed as icons, which makes them easier to find quickly. You can choose either view depending on what you need. Let's find Send Email node and click it. Then we need to set this node. In this node, we will set the recipient to be the email field from the triggering employee record, ensuring the email is correctly sent to the new employee. Then name the subject as Onboarding Notification. For the email body, we will paste the formatted email content. Let's go back to the course page, copy the fixed email notification content, and then return to the workflow page to paste it into the body text box. It's important to note here that we need to replace the dynamic information, employee name and entry date, in the email content with the corresponding name and entry date fields from the employee directory in the Trigger by Worksheet node. After the configuration of the node, click Save. As we also need to notify the manager of the department the employee belongs to, next, we will add a Get Single Data node. Here, we will choose Get the Associated Records, and afterwards, set this node. The target object is the employee directory, and the association field is department. In this way, we can retrieve the department information associated with the employee directory. Immediately after, we will add a CC node and set this node. The CC data object for this node is the employee directory record from the Trigger by Worksheet node. Choose Active Employee for the view, and the CC recipient is set to the department manager from the department table retrieved by the Get Associated Records node. This way, the department manager will receive timely reminders about the new employee's onboarding. We can fill in some notification content and click Save. Once all workflow configurations are complete, don't forget to name this workflow. We will name it Onboarding Notification and click Save. Then, click the Publish Workflow button and our automated workflow will officially take effect. Ultimately, the effect of this workflow is, when an employee's status changes to onboarding and has a clear entry date, the application will automatically send an email notification to the employee and simultaneously CC the corresponding department manager, greatly improving onboarding efficiency. Now, let's look at the second scenario. When a new employee training course is scheduled or the training date is modified, automatically notify employees to view it. First, we create a new workflow, again choosing Trigger by Worksheet. This time, our selected worksheet is Course Participation Record. The trigger method will be when the course date is created or updated. Next, for the trigger conditions, we will set the trigger condition as Course Date is not empty. Then click Save. Next, we add a CC node and click Set this node. The CC data object for this node is the Course Participation Record from the Trigger by Worksheet node. We can set the view to Calendar or All, and the recipient is set to the employee account from the Course Participation Record. This way, employees will be promptly notified when there are changes to the course schedule. We can fill in the notification content, like new arrangement for your course, and click Save to finish. After the workflow is set up, we will name it Training Schedule Notification and click Save. Then publish it. The effect of this workflow is, when HR schedules a new course for employees or when the course date is adjusted, the application will automatically send a CC notification to the relevant employees, ensuring information synchronization. Finally, let's configure a course feedback reminder workflow. Our goal is, at the end of the workday on the course day, for example, at 6 p.m., automatically notify employees to fill out the training course feedback. First, we add a new workflow. This time, the trigger method we choose is Trigger by Date field. Then we need to set the trigger method. Select the worksheet as Course Participation Record, specify the date field as Course Date, and set the execution time for this workflow to 6 p.m. at the date above. And click Save. Next, we add a fill-in node and set this node. For Data Object, choose Course Participation Record in the Trigger by Date mode. Then we set the designated person as the employee account from the Course Participation Record in the Trigger by Date field node. In the Field Settings tab, we need to set Course Rating as a required item and Feedback Suggestions as editable to facilitate detailed feedback from employees. And click Save. After the workflow is set up, we will name it Course Feedback Reminder and save. Then publish the workflow. We can click Execute to test the result, select a record, then choose Send to Myself for testing. The final effect of this workflow is, at 6 p.m. on the course day, the application will automatically notify employees to fill out the course rating and course feedback, helping us to collect valuable opinions and suggestions in a timely manner. All right, that concludes all the content for this lesson. Thanks for your watching.